Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for your time today. That is such a precious commodity these days, fitting everything in. Well, I'm Lynn Stevens. I see my colleague Barb Turpins on. I'm with the Ohio Grandparent Kinship Coalition, one of two co-presidents. And as the screen says, we've been in existence around since about 1998. I think Barb has been there like the whole time, so she's very wise, very knowledgeable. We look to her for lots and lots of answers to questions that we get. So just wanted to talk a little bit about the advocacy and the importance of it and sharing your story. Oh, let me get this message here. Okay. Now to okay, advocacy. Advocacy from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, the act or process of supporting a cause or proposal. So you all are passionate about issues, grandparents raising grandchildren, kinship, caregiving. So that is one area also that we advocate on in our important work throughout the state. So it's important in particular that elected officials hear from you, particularly because they may not be experts on kinship issues. And when they do hear from your grandparent, caregiver, it just brings the issue just home to them, and it makes them knowledgeable about what their constituents are going through. And be sure that you narrow down who your elected official is so that they will listen and you will get a response. So that's one audience, important audience for advocacy. Standing up, speaking out for others and for yourself falls under that advocacy umbrella, sharing a message that everyone's important and deserves to live the life for which they were created, and aim at winning support from others. So really, if it's 1, 2, 5, 10, 100, the numbers do matter to elected officials, but still, if you get one call on an issue that, again, you're not aware of, that one call is very helpful because when something comes up that they vote on, they will remember, they go back to their records, they keep notes on who calls the elected officials. So if there's an issue that comes up on kinship caregiving issue, they'll say to their staff, hey, how many calls have we gotten on this issue? And what have they said? So they do use information from calls, letters, emails, social media, messages. So that is very important to elected officials. Different ways to advocate, calling your elected official, representative, senator, governor, president, writing a letter again, of course, emailing, of course, and giving testimony on a piece of legislation when a particular committee is going to have a hearing. That's a good way to keep track of and get your input heard, and then have others in your community to also call and email and write in. Ways to advocate, continue, reach out to unlikely and likely allies, because legislators, elected officials, they need to hear from everyone, those who agree with them and those who don't agree with them. Again, so they know what their constituents are thinking and what's important to them. Organize advocacy at Legislative Day, which OGKC has done, and we do. So we reach out to you all to let you know when that's coming up so you can participate and then hopefully get a one-on-one meeting with your legislators in Columbus at the State House. You can invite a senator or representative to speak or to attend or just to even give you a commendation, a letter, congratulatory letter for your event, and then you read it out. And that way you get a little insight as well too on their views on a particular topic. And if you're led to do so, you can write a editorial to your newspaper or any other kind of public statement. And for the Ohio State House in Columbus, Ohio has 99 members in the House and 33 senators. Calling the legislators is one of the easiest and quickest ways to make an impact. There's a toll-free number there, And we'll share the PowerPoint with Angela so she can share that with you guys. And you can just call and they can direct you to your particular state representative or senator. If it's after 5, you would need to go to the website, ohiohouse.gov or ohiosenate.gov, and they'll ask you to put your zip code in, and then you can find out who your state rep and state senator is. Give them a call, leave a message if it's after hours. They do listen to messages when they come in the next day. The governor's office, don't forget the governor, he signs bills into law. She, or he's been, it's all he so far, signed bills into law. So the governor is just as aware and interested in what the residents of Ohio are saying on a particular issue. So again, you can give them a quick call, tell them your views on a particular issue or your life, what's going on, the problems, the issues you're having. The governor listens as well too. Again, leave a message if you don't get anyone live. They do check their voicemail messages. Speak slowly and clearly, and keep the call as short and sweet as possible, less than 5 minutes. The staff who answers the phones, they're taking notes and typing, and they're doing other things. They're trying to balance. So their attention span is not too long. So just remember, keep it as quick as you can to keep their attention. Um, to include, when you contact your legislators, just critical information to include in your letter, your contact information so that you can get a reply. They will send you a reply. Again, keep the letters short too as well. They don't read long letters. Put everything as much as you can up the beginning of the letter, the who, what, where, when, why, and how, and then just all to send a letter to your relevant legislators. So if it's a local issue with your trash, your street lights, the roads, potholes in the roads, city roads, that's your city council, your mayor. And then for the state issues, Medicaid funding, how it's distributed, the driver's license issue. So state issues, go to your state representative and your state senator, and then the federal issues, all the laws you hear about in DC and what's going on there, the federal budget, and so all that goes to your representative on the House side or your senator. So it does depend on the issue as to who you contact. Let's see, each state is represented by 2 senators, and then a certain number of U.S. representatives based on the last census count. So it's based on population. In Ohio, we have 18. That's what I have here. So 18, could be 17 now. We may have lost a seat, but 18, my last recollection. And then again, to find your U.S. representative, you go to their house.gov, and then the senator, senate.gov. So Bernie Moreno represents Ohio from Northeast Ohio, and John Husted is Central Ohio, former lieutenant governor. He's now the U.S. senator. So those are 2 senators to contact about any federal issue. You don't have to be in a certain district to contact your senator since they cover the whole state, but your representative in the House does have a district. So your zip code will be requested so you can get matched up with who your representative is on the House side. And the president, whether you think they'll listen or not, that's a resource too. You can call, leave a message, and send a letter as well. Just a basic understanding of the legislative process for a bill has to be introduced. So at a committee level, the particular committee that handles that issue, and it has to be voted out of the committee before it goes to the entire House or entire Senate for a vote. And then it goes through debate on both sides. And then once it's done at either the House floor or the House Senate, they pass it. If it's the House, then the bill goes to the Senate. If it started in the Senate, then the bill will go to the House for consideration, passage. And once the House and the Senate passes both, then it goes to the governor or to the president for signature. So at any point, really, before the bill gets a House vote is or a Senate vote, is a good time to reach out to your legislators. And OGKC, as you know, you've heard our name, you've seen our website, have advocated for kinship issues just over the years and continue to do so, so that culturally responsive legislation is considered, support for kinship programs continues and not be cut. Education and training for caregivers, and removal of income eligibility for childcare. I think they're moving closer to that. And most recently, protecting Medicaid from cuts in the federal and state budgets that would hurt children, families, seniors, and individuals with disabilities in particular. So that and many more. The affidavits or the POAs, drawing a blank, that the grandparents and other caregivers need signed so that they can care for those children in their care in the absence of their parent. So we'll continue to um, fight and bring these issues to the awareness of our legislators. And Barb, she testifies at committee meetings, she writes letters. So just know that OGKC is still continuing its advocacy on behalf of kinship caregivers in Ohio. Just to give you an update, maybe Barb talked about it, but just to repeat or emphasize, September 9th, next Tuesday, is going to be a kinship care symposium um, co-hosted by OGKC and I think Ron Browder's organization, Health Equity. Um, I don't forget the uh, part of.
Ohio Federation for Health Equity and Social Justice.
Thank
Took me
you
a
so
while
much.
to memorize
Oh,
that.
goodness. Thank you. It's leading up efforts to bring again awareness and just educate caregivers on issues that are going on. So it's free on the next page. I'll have some more information on how to register. But also September 7th, National Grandparents Day for 2025, is another event in recognition. We want to help increase awareness about. And then the Governor DeWine recently signed the accommodation for 2025, September 2025. So starting yesterday and through the month of September, it will be Grandparent Kinship Month in Ohio. So we'll be able to acknowledge that next Tuesday during the symposium. Oop. And here's a flyer just with information. You register, it's free, of course. And as you see on the flyer, have various speakers, very elected officials, Rita Soren and with the Dave Thomas Foundation, very passionate advocate on adoption, and Anna Beltrain, Director of Grand Families and Kinship Support Network. I believe she's represents a national organization. And Herschel Craig, our senator, think he has confirmed he will stop by. Please correct me, Barbara, if I'm wrong. Honorable Michelle Reynolds as well, and Honorable State Representative Dontavius Geralds. So will they be there? And so far, Barb?
At
Or,
this
sorry.
point, I believe they've all confirmed that they will be
Mhm,
attending. Now, you never know because things come up in their areas, and
mhm,
so sometimes they're pulled away for meetings. But as of
mhm.
now, I think that they've all confirmed that they will be uh, attending at the early part of the symposium.
Okay, awesome. Great. We'll also have a panel discussion with kinship families. We'll see if the legislators can hang around if they are even able to join. So that would be helpful. I think Ms. Yaya, one of your members, is going to be on the panel, as well as, let's see, Summit County is represented by Siab Siabin Aaron. Sorry. Chris Dunham from Lorain County, Brenda Brookshire from Montgomery County, and then Tasana Powers here in Central Ohio. She was adopted by her grandmother, so she's a kinship adoptee, and we'll tell a little bit about her story living and growing up with her grandparent. And one other thing to point out is that there's going to be a drawing for all caregivers who want to enter their names. And sorry for the small print, but two grand prizes of $500 gift cards, four first prizes of $250 gift cards, five second place prizes of $100 gift cards. So if you're interested, want to take a chance and win some gift cards, hopefully that'll help with something. Um, please register. You have to attend the entire symposium. It's from 10 a.m. to 12:30, and we need you to complete an evaluation as well. So if you're available, please, please, please consider registering. So we would love to try to help caregivers with the gift cards that are available. And Barb's going to verify your caregiver status as well to all those who are selected from the drawing. Um, so hopefully it'll be informative to you as well, because of course we'll bring issues that are current and just a lot of advocacy that could be going on various issues. So that's important to you as well. You can attend for that reason as well. So next Tuesday again, 10 a.m. and it's virtual. Hopefully we'll see you there. Oh goodness, what did I do? Well, that was basically it, but just wanted to remind everyone that advocacy is very important. And let's see. Um, no matter how small the issue, your voice matters. And you don't have to feel like you have to know it all just to call, write a letter. No, you just call and talk about your life, your issues, where you need help with. It can be as simple as that, and make it as brief as you can as well. You know your situation best, you can explain it best. So when it comes from you, it means a lot. And the elected officials know that when they get a call from one person, they know that's not the only person, only constituent who's in that situation. So that one call is going to be speaking for probably hundreds, if not thousands, of others who are in their districts. As you meet other caregivers who may need help, feel free to share our OGKC website with others, and there's a way to send a message. Barb gets those messages and she responds to each and every one. So please share our website as a resource. And numbers matter. Again, whether it's 1, 2, 10, 100, 500, legislators do pay attention to all the calls, all the letters that they get. They really do is very important because they want to know how their constituents are feeling and how they feel on issues that they're going to be voting on. So just can't underscore enough just how important that is to make your voice heard. So with that, thank you for what you do every day in the life of a child. Again, Lynette Stevens with the Ohio Grandparent Kinship Coalition. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, again, I'll get the PowerPoint to Miss Angela so that she can share it with everyone, share it with the group, even those who aren't here today. So thank you for your time. And thank you, Angela, for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. This was very informative, and I definitely will share with everyone. Barb, do you have anything to add?
Well, I want to say thank you, Lynn. That's an excellent presentation. It's very easy to understand because you know, a lot of things with government, as most people know, or state, county organizations can be very complicated. And that was a very clear-cut explanation. Lynn has, I don't know how many years, but it's a lot of years with the state government. She's been with the government, worked with under the previous governor. So she's, I believe, still working under this current governor. So she has a very good insight into how government works. And I think she's been able to provide that to us. In addition to what Lynn said in terms of advocating with legislators, which is very important because we advocated for this past budget, which is a 2-year budget. So this budget will be good for July 1st of this state year, which will go from July 1st to 2025. And then the next budget cycle will start back up July 1st of 2027. So beginning in 2026, people will start advocating for what they want to see in the budget coming up in 2027 when the legislators meet to talk about what they're going to fund. I don't know. We've tried to make it people aware that in this past budget, Lynn did mention that we testified. Yaya was a caregiver who testified in person. We had several other caregivers go and testify in person to the legislators of the committees that were hearing the issues around what needed to be in the bill. Once that information, once that got out of those committees to go to the actual committee that decides what stays in, what goes out, what goes to the governor, we found out that there was nothing that came to the kinship caregiver population. There was no in looking at increasing the OWF payment, looking at the child care issue, looking at any of the other recommendations that were made during the testimony hearings. So what you need to understand is that it is important to tell your story as often as you get a chance. You may get back just a form letter or a form response, and I get those same things when I email my legislators, especially at the federal level. You get back a form response, but keep doing it because they see those come through. Their aides see those come through, and the more that come through, they start maybe looking at those. They were able to give millions of dollars to fund the Cleveland Browns stadium. I have nothing against the Cleveland Browns, love them. They're here in Ohio. They get a lot of support from Ohio, but for the legislators to give taxpayer dollars, which is what it is, it's unclaimed funds that they took that people have not claimed and put it towards this funding of the stadium, where some of those millions of dollars could have gone to kinship caregivers. So you've got to sort of understand the priorities of this legislature right now. It does lean in one direction, and that direction is not very supportive of social causes. So, but keep putting it out there, keep contacting them. Any opportunity you get, that's what's going to count. There's going to be elections in 2026. They're going to want to keep their jobs, and so this is the time to let them know that, hey, we're voters, we need help, we will support you, but we also need support. So what Lynn put in there is very important. The other thing is, I know it's the beginning of the school year, and a lot of caregivers and are involved in some of the organizations within schools. And I know a lot of schools don't realize that how many kinship caregivers they have in that school system that are taking care of kids that are going to the school. And so it's good if you have the opportunity to attend some type of a meeting, or there are a lot of events that are going on in the schools that like on the weekends to promote things. If you have that opportunity to participate in those or to be part of those, let me know, because I can give you some promotional information about OGKC and about the importance of kinship caregivers, that kind of thing. Just email me and let me know, and I can try to help provide you with information that you can pass along to your school system, because a lot of caregivers are there and they don't know what's out there for them. So that's an important way to advocate too. And other than that, I think Lynn did a good job of covering everything else, unless people have a question.
Thank you all. Thank you for everything OGKC does. They have monthly meetings. We share about them in our newsletter, but please subscribe to their newsletter as well for all the information that they share. And another organization is also Ohio Family Care Association. They do advocacy work. It's more around child welfare involved families. So if you've had an experience with the child welfare system and would like to advocate in some way for that, they're also a great contact. and I'll put their email in the chat as well. But I'll be sure to share all of this in a follow-up email. But as Barb said, your story is your greatest asset, your greatest power, and that really is what moves people, not just numbers and statistics and dollar signs. Of course, all of those are important, but your story is the most important thing that you have. So don't be afraid of sharing it. And I know I've been so moved by like every kinship story I hear, and I've been doing this for 5 years. So, I have a long way to go still, but that individual like sacrifice and resilience and just you all being there for the children in your care and hearing how much better they're doing, even with all of the challenges, it still has an impact on me. So I know it truly has an impact on others as well, even your family, your friends, educators, whoever you can share with. And that's something you can do at any time.